In 2015, the New York Attorney General's Office tested 21 popular protein powders sold across the United States. 4 of the brands tested returned nitrogen readings that did not match the protein content on the label. The mechanism behind that discrepancy now has a name in the industry: amino acid spiking. Adding cheap amino acids like glycine and taurine inflates the nitrogen reading used to calculate protein content without delivering the muscle-building leucine, isoleucine, and valine your body actually uses. The brands that failed that test did not voluntarily pull their products. They kept selling. 7 protein powder brands are on this list. 4 of them are built on a price structure that does not survive milligram-level scrutiny. 3 of them disclose every active, submit to third-party testing, and deliver cost per gram math that holds up. Starting at number 7 with a brand whose label reads very differently once you run the numbers. Number 7. Body Fortress Super Advanced Whey Protein presents a textbook case of the gap between label claim and documented performance. A standard 2-pound tub retails for between $9 and $13 at Walmart, which on the surface positions it as the budget option every lifter should want. Body Fortress is distributed through Walmart's private supply chain and manufactured by Weider Global Nutrition, a company with a long history in the mass market supplement space. The value proposition collapses when you examine what the New York Attorney General's 2015 investigation found. Body Fortress was among the brands flagged for delivering less protein than the label claimed. The nitrogen reading method used to calculate protein content on the label does not distinguish between muscle-building whey protein fractions and non-essential amino acids added as cheap fillers. Body Fortress uses a whey concentrate base, which already runs lower in protein purity than isolate, typically between 70 and 80% protein by weight before any additions. When glycine and taurine appear in the amino acid profile at disproportionate levels relative to leucine, the reading inflates. Real whey concentrate should deliver roughly 10 to 12% leucine by amino acid weight. If your cost per gram math is based on a nitrogen reading that includes glycine, you are not buying protein. You are buying the appearance of protein at a price that only looks cheap. The verdict: the $9 tub does not represent savings. It represents a different line item, one labeled glycine. Body Fortress establishes the pattern, but among brands sold at scale to lifters who believe they are getting a deal, this is only the beginning. Number 6. 6-Star Pro Nutrition takes the budget brand positioning one step further. 6-Star is the direct consumer entry point for Iovate Health Sciences, the same parent company that owns MuscleTech. A 2-pound bag of 6-Star 100% whey retails for between $10 and $14. The same New York Attorney General investigation that flagged Body Fortress also identified 6-Star among the brands where protein content did not match label claims. Iovate's strategy is transparent once you see the holding structure. 6-Star sells to the Walmart and mass market aisle, MuscleTech sells to the GNC and specialty supplement aisle, and both draw from the same whey concentrate supply chain. The price difference between a bag of 6-Star and a comparably sized MuscleTech Nitrotech reflects marketing spend, shelf placement fees, and influencer partnership budgets, not a meaningfully different protein source. 6-Star's amino acid profile shows the same glycine and taurine signature that independent testers have consistently flagged when auditing the brand. The leucine content per 30 gram scoop, when independently analyzed, does not consistently reach the 5 to 3 grams that genuine whey concentrate at the claimed protein density would deliver. 6-Star has not submitted to Labdoor or Informed Sport third-party certification as of the most recent published records. At its core, you are paying for Iovate's 2-tier retail strategy, not for the protein grams printed on the front of the bag. If you think the Iovate pricing structure is the most aggressive example of parent company arbitrage in this ranking, the next brand makes that same holding strategy look restrained. Number 5. MuscleTech Nitrotech doubles down on the premium positioning of a whey concentrate and isolate blend that its sister brand sells at a third of the price. A 5-pound tub of Nitrotech retails for between $45 and $60 depending on retailer. MuscleTech, as noted, is owned by Iovate Health Sciences. Nitrotech's label lists a proprietary Nitrotech protein blend, combining whey protein, concentrate, isolate, and peptides, but the individual ratios of concentrate to isolate are not disclosed. When a label lists isolate first and concentrate second without milligram breakdowns, the actual isolate fraction can be minimal and still satisfy label order requirements. Nitrotech has appeared in multiple LabDoor analyses in which its protein content per serving tested below the label claim. LabDoor's 2019 protein powder rankings placed Nitrotech below the median for protein accuracy. A tub priced at $50 for approximately 75 servings works out to roughly 67 cents per serving. If the protein per serving is even 2 grams lower than claimed across the tub, the cost per gram of actual protein rises materially above what the label arithmetic suggests. The proprietary blend structure makes it impossible for the buyer to verify the isolate fraction independently without third-party testing. MuscleTech has not published Informed Sport or NSF Certified for Sport certification for Nitrotech. For the lifter, the premium is paid for the Nitrotech branding and the GNC shelf, not for a meaningfully higher isolate fraction or independently verified protein accuracy. Before the list moves to the brands where the milligrams are disclosed and the math works, you need 4 tests. 4 things you can check before you buy any protein powder to separate a clinically honest product from a marketing tub. First, look at the amino acid profile if published. If glycine and taurine appear at disproportionately high levels relative to leucine, the protein has been amino spiked. Real whey runs roughly 10 to 12% leucine by amino acid weight. If leucine per scoop is under 2 grams for a 5-gram protein scoop, the product is either underdosed or spiked. Second, find whether the label discloses individual ingredient amounts. A proprietary blend with a single total weight and no individual doses means you cannot verify that any active is at a functional level. That is a red flag, not a trade secret worth protecting. Third, search the brand on LabDoor, Informed Sport, or NSF Certified for Sport before you buy. Third-party certified products have passed independent ingredient verification against the label claim. Brands that decline third-party certification have a reason for declining. Fourth, calculate cost per gram of actual protein. Divide the bag price by the total protein content in grams, not by the serving count. Premium brands often land between 10 and 15 cents per gram. If a brand charges 15 cents per gram and independently tested protein accuracy is below label claim, the real cost per gram is higher still. Every video on this channel applies these same tests. No supplement brand partnerships, no sponsored reviews. If that is the kind of analysis you wish someone did before you bought your next tub, you already know what to do. Number 4. Dymatize ISO 100 stands out as the first brand on this list where the product category and the label structure shift meaningfully. ISO 100 is a hydrolyzed whey isolate, and Dymatize is owned by Post Holdings, a consumer packaged goods company that also owns Premier, Protein, and PowerBar. A 2-pound bag of ISO 100 retails for between $34 and $42, putting cost per gram of protein in the range of 12 to 16 cents, depending on retailer and flavor. ISO 100 carries NSF Certified for Sport certification, which means batches are independently tested for banned substances, and the protein content on the label has been verified against what is in the scoop. The hydrolyzed isolate base means protein purity runs above 90% by weight, and the amino acid profile reflects a leucine content consistent with genuine isolate, approximately 6 to 2. 8 grams of leucine per 5-gram scoop. There is no proprietary blend on the label. Each amino acid is disclosed. Post Holdings' ownership of Premier Protein and PowerBar does create a holding structure similar to Iovate, but unlike the 6-star and MuscleTech situation, ISO 100 and Premier Protein target genuinely different formulation categories and price points, and the NSF certification provides independent verification that the label reflects the scoop. Verdict: the certification is real, the isolate fraction is real, and the price reflects the product. Number 3. MyProtein Impact Whey Isolate brings label transparency and direct-to-consumer pricing to a category where most brands rely on retail markup to obscure the cost structure. MyProtein is owned by the Hut Group, a UK-based e-commerce holding company. Impact Whey Isolate retails for between $30 and $40 for approximately 100 servings when purchased direct, putting cost per gram of protein at approximately 8 to 10 cents, among the lowest in the isolate category. The label discloses protein per serving, carbohydrate, fat, and a full amino acid breakdown without a proprietary blend. MyProtein's manufacturing facilities in the UK hold Informed Sport batch testing certification, meaning independently verified absence of banned substances on a batch-by-batch basis. Labdoor's analysis of MyProtein Impact Whey Isolate has consistently placed it in the top tier for protein accuracy, with tested protein content matching or exceeding label claims. The direct-to-consumer distribution model eliminates the GNC and big box retail margin that inflates the shelf price of comparably formulated products. The absence of high-budget athlete sponsorships means the formulation budget is not competing with a marketing budget. Here, milligrams disclosed, cost per gram math, and third-party batch certification are in honest alignment with the price. Number 2, Transparent Labs 100% grass-fed whey protein isolate delivers a level of ingredient disclosure that is structurally different from every brand reviewed so far. Transparent Labs is an independent company without a publicly disclosed conglomerate parent. A 2-pound bag retails for between $59 and $65, which puts cost per gram of protein at approximately 14 to 16 cents. The price is higher than MyProtein, and the reason is documented. Every batch is tested by Informed Sport, and the company publishes the certificate of analysis for each production run on its website. The amino acid profile is fully disclosed per serving. Leucine runs approximately 2-9 grams per 3 0-gram scoop, consistent with high-purity isolate. The label carries no proprietary blend and no undisclosed matrix. The grass-fed sourcing is third-party verified rather than a marketing claim. Transparent Labs has maintained a consistent Labdoor score in the top 10 for protein accuracy across multiple testing rounds. The brand does not hold athlete sponsorship agreements of the scale seen at MuscleTech or Dymatize, and its marketing budget is directed primarily toward content and independent review rather than influencer deals. For the lifter, the premium over MyProtein buys independently published batch certificates and a fully disclosed amino acid panel, not a brand name. Number 1. Kirkland Signature Protein Bars operates on a fundamentally different model from every other product reviewed. Kirkland Signature is Costco's private label, manufactured under contract and sold without retail markup beyond the Costco membership structure. The Kirkland Signature Whey Protein Powder, sold in 5-pound bags through Costco warehouse and online, retails for between $30 and $40, putting cost per gram of protein at approximately 6 to 8 cents, the lowest documented cost per gram of independently verified clean protein in the mainstream U.S. market. The whey blend uses concentrate and isolate, and when tested by Labdoor and Consumer Lab in multiple independent audits, Kirkland Signature Protein has consistently met or exceeded its label protein claims without the glycine or taurine spiking signature found in Body Fortress and 6-Star. There is no proprietary blend. There is no athlete sponsorship budget. The Costco private label model eliminates every layer of margin that inflates the price of brand name supplements, while the formulation remains functionally identical to mid-tier isolate products. Kirkland Signature does not hold Informed Sport or NSF Certified for Sport certification, which is a genuine limitation for competitive athletes subject to drug testing. For the recreational lifter spending $40 to $80 a month on protein, it represents the most honest cost per gram on the market based on documented independent testing. The result? You are buying protein, at the best documented price per gram in this category. Across the 7 supplements analyzed, one pattern stands out consistently. Price does not reflect clinical dose or protein accuracy. It reflects the distance between the manufacturer and the retailer, the size of the influencer budget, and whether the holding company needs to maintain a premium tier brand identity alongside a value tier brand identity. The brands at the bottom of this list are not necessarily worse in their raw ingredient than the brands at the top. They are worse in their label honesty and their willingness to submit that label to independent verification. The informed lifter's advantage is simple. The milligram math is available if you look for it. Third-party certifications are searchable before you buy. The New York Attorney General's 2015 findings are public record. None of this information requires a chemistry degree. It requires reading the label before reading the front of the tub. In an industry built on proprietary blends, knowing what is actually in the scoop is what protects your gains